of course, when you take this course, and also maybe when you learn about the new structure in our program, about the curriculum and so on, I think you will have same question with this slide there. Why blockchains needed to be one of the major one of the new course that we introduced for the computer science students. Yeah. So actually, this is also the same question for many people in the technology that when here and also have some some opportunity to learn about the blockchains here. Why blockchains? Why we need this, and then why this is very important for this period about the blockchains here. So I think we will discuss before we discuss about the definition. We will discuss about what we want to what we want to learn about the blockchains, not only just about the blockchain for as technology, but also a blockchain as services, and not only just blockchain as like Bitcoin, like, yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's not just like that one. So I think I will bring our discussion, especially for our program, is about to discover and also observe about the scientific behind the blockchains. Yeah. So because now the discussion is more, when we discuss about blockchain, is more about like the cryptocurrencies issue. Yeah. So so that's why the people will be try hard to get the Bitcoin and then have the money from that and so on. And then another aspect, they try to to trade the cryptocurrency, and also to have benefit on the currency itself. Yeah. So but more than that, actually, we have a big challenge and also big opportunity when we learn blockchain as science and technology. Because when we discuss about the blockchain as science and technology, actually we will have the opportunity to have capabilities in the future to change the whole landscape of the technology. Yeah, one of the issue is like, I think you also agree that today the technology is become like centralized. Yeah. What I mean about centralized is like, for example, that we use the internet. Actually, we are in we are in the centralized network. Yeah, because all the network will be will be joined in one big big node, and then the node will be monetized, and then in several aspects we doesn't have any opportunity to arrange ourselves, yeah, to manage our resources. Yeah. For example, if we use the, like in our university, for example, if we use the actually use the Google services, yeah, for our email services, for file document into the drive, and other services from the Google that we use for the campus activities. In that time, actually we doesn't have any control with our resources in the data and also in the access. We depend on the Google. So it's mean the Google will be lead, and then will be will be centralized system for us. And what happened now, many of the university, school, and also another organization join the services in the Google, and so on. So that's why the Google will become bigger in the aspect of the in the authority to manage the data and so on, and yeah, became the superpower on the internet. We also face same things. Yeah, I think when we use a lot of resources. So I think another aspect is we also need to see that in other side we need to make the internet, or also in the technology, is more democratized. Yeah, it's not like the only single authority that have the opportunity to keep our data and also and so on. And that's in the data, but in the system is also have the same things. Yeah, for example, now we very depend on in the services and the network services from the provider, from the internet provider, for example, and then the internet provider will be will be also connected with the more bigger internet service provider. For example, I use the local ESP to connect to the internet from my home, for example, and then the local ESP will be connected to the national ESP in Indonesia, and then and will be connected to the global ESP. So in the time, actually, all the connected network will be monitorized, and only single authorization that make all the things is managed by single parties. So that's what one of the one of the issue that came to us now, that we think that the internet should be need more democratized, will be open wide, and then and have the equality. So, but unfortunately, we have a same question: what kind of technology that can make it happen? Yeah. So in the time, so that's why the blockchain is came and then introduced as one of the one of the technology that have opportunity for the user to be more independent and then more open. Yeah. So let's discuss about it. Why blockchains? Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Blockchains now become more now the trust of the blockchain is increasing, actually. Yeah, I will not say that we already have 100% trust and belief in blockchains, but in some circumstances, the blockchain now increasing. Yeah, so you can see in the business, for example, now many industries try to learn a blockchains and then try to implement the blockchain into their business process to achieve one or two or three aspects that we will discuss later. Yeah. So one of discussion is why blockchain is important, yeah, especially for business. In the concept, before we discuss about the definition, the blockchain is like have the feature that we call the immutability. This is like when we store the data, it's mean the data cannot be modified, yeah, or altered. Yeah. So I think the term of altered, modified is common for us, yeah, especially when we learn about database management system. So the data can be altered, can be updated, and etc. But in the blockchains, there is no opportunity for us to modify and alter. When once we store the data will keep in that form forever. Yeah. So when we need to adjust the data, so once again, we need to add the new data that already revised by us. So it is like to keep the history and then to keep the version of the data, it will be in the original way. There is no manipulation in the past. Yeah, there is no some modification that add into the process. So it's mean we try to keep the process and the data, it will be consistent and precisely consistent in every single processes. So that's why the immutability is very one of the issue in here. So you can imagine that if, for example, if you have like for example your course mark, yeah, or course score last semester, for example, when the lecturer has already input your data into the semester, and if you use the blockchain, it's mean in that time where your score has already input by the lectures, it will be kept in that form, in that score, of course. And if we want to revise, for example, you ask about the revision about the score because of one or two issue that you found is not fair, for example, and then the lecturer accept your claim, and then he want to adjust your score. It's mean I need to add new score, not edit the score. So it's mean the track or the story of the change, it will be kept. Yeah, it will be preserved. It will be long. We can see about why the data is what the context here. The data is input in the first time, and then the second time we input another data. It will be also have the information about the context here. What's the context? The lecture update the data, not update, yeah, add the new data, yeah, something like that. So that will be in the immutability aspect of the blockchains, yeah. So it is very important because especially in the industries business, we need to the industry need this aspect, yeah, upon the immutability, yeah, because we doesn't we really the business very very critical to have the immutability in every business process, yeah. So we doesn't want have, like, for example, uh, the correction in the middle of the business process, and then it will be changed on the aspect of the business. So it will be very, very high risk, yeah. And the second is transparency. Yeah, this is the second aspect that why blockchain is very now become one of the advantage of the blockchains. Because blockchain will be offer the transparency so that business can track every system detail, yeah. In the audit matters is like in the audit trails, yeah. So we have the audit trail of every event that occurs in the business processes. So it's just like log, yeah. This is like log books, yeah. So that's why the blockchain is called like a general ledger and log, the big logbook system, because it will be log every event that we activate, and also we trigger in the system, and what happened in the system is also will be recorded by the blockchain itself, yeah. And in the same time the record will be transparent, yeah. So every person and every user, every parties that connected with the blockchain system, we have opportunity to see what happened in the system based on the log, yeah. So that will be the transparency will be work on, yeah. So so that will be the good one actually, yeah, the transparency. And then the third is efficiency, because the blockchain have the opportunity to enable businesses to carry out the operation efficiently. Yeah, so especially in the in the business that have the need to have a very detailed and complex business processes like supply chains, healthcare, banking system, or maybe telecommunication system, that the transaction is very huge in every second, for example, and oil and gas, for example. So that will be they really need to have the efficiency. So I think it will be change the way how we also to change the way how we build or develop the enterprise system, because well, in the blockchain we have the opportunity to more efficient in here, yeah. Because for example, if we build an enterprise system for enterprises, yeah, for manufacture or something else, we need to design the big databases, yeah. And then we need to have capability to design the process that can be work simultaneous, in the similar in the same time in very large transaction. So it means the system will be very big and very very wide, yeah. So in the same time, like the system will be like very need high effort to manage and to maintain, yeah. So in here the blockchain have the opportunity that the system is become not too big, yeah, but efficient in to handle the transaction, yeah. So that will be one of the advantage of the blockchain. And the next is traceability. Yeah, this is offer all-time traceability that prevent fraudulent activities. So in the blockchain technologies, we offer that the transaction or maybe the activity on the system can be traced, yeah, can be traced all of the time, yeah. So it's mean we can avoid, and then we can mitigate the fraudulent activities, yeah. So it's very important, yeah, because it will be something that the fraudulence is like something like will be very dangerous if we not handle in very in the very good way. Yeah, and also the security. Yeah, this is utilize hack level cryptography algorithms and method. Yeah, so that's why I mentioned to you that if you want to deep learn about blockchain in the very deep way, I think the cryptography is one of the major that you need to take. Yeah, so because yeah, the blockchain is not like using the ordinary or common algorithm in the cryptography, but actually we will utilize the high level cryptography in this aspect. So in that time, in the our agendas, I will also discuss about the several high level cryptography algorithm that we will discuss in that implement in the blockchains. Yeah. So that will be the five important point that why blockchain is very useful for the business. So this is like the illustration why blockchain is needed by several industries. Yeah, like I said before, the blockchain will be very helpful for supply chains, yeah, and supply chains, yeah, because it will be improve transparency, traceability, and remove fraud of the activities. Yeah, supply chain is like in the e-commerce platform, for example. I think, yeah. So you can see your good that you order will be traceable and every time, and we know now where is now and then what happened now and so on. Yeah, so that would be very important. But more than that, it's not only just e-commerce platform. The supply chain of the, for example, of the commodities, yeah, like some of the national commodities, like in Indonesia, for example, the supply chains of the coffee bean of coffee from the farmer into the market can be traceable, and then the oil palm, yeah, so it's also used in that issue to check the the quality and also the uh, where it's come from. Yeah, so that's also happened. And then the forest wood, yeah, for example, in several, especially in the European country, they have the mandatory pre-request, yeah, before we export the wood from the forest. We need to ensure that the wood is from the legal logging, not illegal logging. So that's why the blockchain can be traced, can be have the record of the where is the wood came from, and then where is the place, the GPS location, who the party that process the wood and so on, and then who the exporter and so on. So that would be in the supply chains. Yeah. In this case, actually, the blockchain will be offered the transparency, traceability, and also identified the potential of fraud activities. Yeah. And the second is in the finance. Yeah, it's very important now. Now the finance is one of the major industry that very very active to implement the blockchains. Yeah, not from the not the cryptocurrencies, but to help the streamline processes, especially in the banking transaction. Yeah, and then in the insurance transaction and so on, and then authenticity. Yeah, so it's also very important. Yeah, and then and also the economic benefit that embedded in the blockchain itself. Yeah, so that's why the finance is very very have one of the focus on the finance industries is how to implement the blockchain for their streamline of the process. So that's why it's very important. And then the healthcare is also important, especially during this pandemic. I think we can see that the data and so on is very very crowded, and we have a problem on it. Yeah, so the healthcare it will be used can for the unified patient data. So you can see many health facilities have their own data, and then when they want to for example, for integrate the data is very difficult, and we have all that issue. So that's why the blockchain can have the opportunity to unify patient data, and then drug traceability. Yeah, so it's very important. And then clinical trials and data security. So it's also one of the some of the the blockchain impact on the industry, especially in healthcare. I think I also have one student that now take a scriptsy or thesis using the blockchain for unified patient data in one of the healthcare facilities. So I think that's also good things that the student of the computer science now I want to brief to do the research on this issue. I think it's very important. And then the retail, yeah, this is also one of the important things, yeah, especially for inventory management. Yeah, you can see that in the huge warehouse need to have a huge inventory management system. So when you're using the blockchains, I think it will be more efficient, and also will be more traceable, and all the aspect of the data, especially in the inventory or asset, will be covered up by the blockchains, and also faster settlement, and the next one is less paperwork. Yeah, and the government will be actually, the government can have also the advantage when using the blockchains. Yeah, especially for transparent processes in the government services, for example. Yeah, and then improve implementation for many programs, especially now we now joining in the in the era of the smart city. So I think when if we want to push the smart city will be become the platform of the future city in Indonesia, I think we need to consider to implement the blockchain to improve the implementation and also the better controls of the government itself. Yeah. So that is like illustration how we can see that the blockchain especially is very important, and now it's not only just a myth or mythos, yeah, something like that, but it will be one real single issue in the technology. So I think that will be give you some some big picture of the reason why a blockchain is very important for us, yeah, as a student, for me as a lecturer and researcher to working on in the blockchain's issue to develop the research, and also some of the development for support the use of blockchain in every industries. Yeah, so I think this course is good opportunity not only for you but also for me as researcher to build a new stream for the research, yeah, especially in blockchains, but not in the cryptocurrency, because I think the lecturer from the faculty of economic business also have a group, yeah, a research group on the blockchains, but mostly in the cryptocurrency and trade of the blockchains, yeah. But the science behind the blockchain, the technology behind the blockchain, I think not a lot of people working on it, yeah. So I think yeah, as a student and also the lecturer from the computer science, I think our responsibility to fill the gap and then and develop and observe in this field. Yeah. Okay, so that's, I think that's the two slides that I try to explain to you about the trigger to discuss about the blockchains in more detail with the next slide. Yeah. But before that, if you have any question, please raise your hand, and then or you can write in your chat, and I will try to discuss with you. So please. Any question from you?
None so far, sir.
Not so far. Okay. Okay. So I will continue. So actually, when we want to learn about the blockchains, many sources now in the internet that you can discover, and then also you can observe. Yeah, I will share from my perspective. Yeah, I learned a lot blockchain from this site, actually, from the IBM blockchains. Yeah, so uh, you can also start your journey to discuss the blockchain using these sources here. Why I use this one? Because the perspective that they bring to us to learn about blockchain is the landscape in the industry landscapes. Yeah, that's my my point, that I am very enjoy to learn the blockchain with this from the IBM. Yeah. So, and then the second is about yeah, the science and the technology is more have the big percentage in the discussion. So that's make we not prep or we not jump only discuss blockchain about the cryptocurrency, yeah, which is Bitcoin and so on. So is we will discuss more about the science behind and the technology behind the blockchains. Yeah. So that will be the nice one. So hopefully you can also access this material, and then I will catch the point of the knowledge from there, and then I will bring to the class to discuss with you. So that you see, this is like you can see in here, so when we discuss about the blockchain from these sources, we will learn about the fundamentals, how the blockchain work, and then use case of the blockchain, of course, and then about the hyperledger. This is the concept that I want to introduce to you. That the blockchain is not always not only just Bitcoin, but this is like the concept of hyperledgers. Yeah. So this is the ledger itself is like a book, yeah, a logbook that very big, yeah, big logbook. So and then of course how we can use the blockchains to be some of the application and so on. So I think you have same opportunity to read and then to learn about it, and then I will add the link into the ELAP also, so you can see you can see what the knowledge on it. Yeah. Okay. So that's also what we use, and then let's see. Let's discuss more deeply about some of the aspect that we already discussed in the general perspective. Now we will try to discover more detail about every aspect of the blockchains. Why we need to learn about blockchains, yeah, especially in the technology. The first issue that actually I already discussed with you is about the immutability. Yeah, in here we can see that of course the blockchain is claimed as immutable. Yeah, why? What the explanation about it? Yeah, you can read in here. This opens a lot of opportunity for platforms that need immutable trade to make their system more functional in highly competitive market. So it's mean what we offer of the blockchain is the immutability is not trapped in one single platform, but also we many platform that want to use the blockchain as one of the backbone of the system. It can be connected and can be used the blockchains. Yeah, so that will be a very important point. Yeah. So in this point we can try to imagine that what kind of technology that can that offer that opportunity. Yeah, so that will be the challenge actually. What kind of technology that have or they have the functionality or have a feature that immutable, but in same way it can be used in many platforms. Yeah, so you can like uh, you can like, for example, imagine that when we use the cloud platform, for example, the cloud in the cloud computing. Yeah, for example, when I use the Google Cloud platform, we doesn't need to consider what the behind of the technology on the Google Cloud platform. The most important thing is I can use the services, and then I can use it, and then I can manage my resources into the Google Cloud platform, and then my application or my data can be stored in there, and then I can access, and then I can give with some information on it. Yeah. So it's same thing. We doesn't need to we doesn't need to think a lot about what the behind of the blockchain technology. But the most important thing I can use, and then my system can be immutable. Yeah. Uh, I can make my system have the functionality that in the highly competitive market. So that's the important. It can be, we can see in here like in the supply chains, yeah, for the example, yeah. So that's why it's very important, yeah. Yeah. So what the mean of the immutability? So immutability enable companies to ensure that there is no hamper done to the package in the transits, yeah. So it's mean, yeah, it's make the process will be flowing, yeah, without any boundaries, without any some hamper that came to the process, yeah. And then the blockchain is immutable. It's not possible to alter the package information in any way, and any alteration will alarm the system. So it's mean inside the system of the blockchain, in the immutability, we have opportunity to have the information when one parties or another users in illegal or in legal way try to altering the system. So that will be the matters about the immutability. So in here we can see that when we want to arrange the definition, the right definition about the immutability is like we can get the key point on the keyword on it. Yeah, the first is, yeah, it's using the open platform. Yeah, that is and then the second is about immutable is not possible to alter or edit the information in any way. Yeah, and then the third is we also have the alarm system when the the parties another party try to to altering the system. So that will be the three characteristic, the main three characteristics of immutable system. Yeah. So yeah, I remember several months ago we discussed about this aspect. Yeah, how we can build the immutable system. Yeah, that the system that cannot be altered by anyone, and then if people try to to altering the data inside the system will be will be have the alarms. We have the warning system, and then and if we have the capabilities, will be it can be handle that issue in the same time. Yeah, that's between the immutable. So when we see this one, the immutability, it will be you will understand why the architecture of blockchain will be very different with the common system. Yeah, so that's why I explained in the first meeting to bring you the new the new the new view of a new system, yeah, that we call the blockchains. If we only discuss about directly into the architecture, I think you will have a big question when the architecture will be different and so on. Yeah. And then the second is about the transparency. Yeah, the transparency is also very important because this is crucial aspect. Yeah, you can see this one. Actually, in the blockchain itself, I will introduce you that blockchain have many different types. Yeah, we also like cloud. Yeah, we have a public cloud, we have a private cloud. In the blockchain, we also have the private blockchains, public blockchains, and so on. So, for example, in the public blockchain, perfect transparency to its natures. Yeah, so. Yeah, company can also utilize to ensure that end user can interact with the process with full or partial transparency. So it's mean we have opportunity to set and then to manage the level of transparency on the blockchains. Yeah. So why it's important? Because yeah, in some case um, we can have a full transparency, yeah, for several data, but unfortunately for some several industries like healthcare, finance, I think not all the 100% transparency, it cannot be, cannot be implemented because the role of the industry itself. Yeah, so that's why we have opportunity to make a transparency to its natures. Yeah, so it's mean it can be based on the nature, and also can be based on the industry standard that we try to implement in that point. Yeah, so that will be the important ones. So, and then this is like the third is about digital freedom. Yeah. So like I mentioned in the first issue, they are centralized entities that offer connectivity in terms of economic, but also take away our freedoms. Yeah. So that's the point. Yeah. So actually, this is like the when we learn about. I think I will discuss also in the computer philosophies courses. Yeah, about the freedoms. Yeah, so that will be one of the issue. Uh, yeah, this is like in the bank, for example, it can block your transaction or confiscate your account if deemed right. Yeah, and they are bound to do so even when the account holder have not do anything wrong. Yeah. So if you are taking blockchain into account, you will find there is no centralized authority. Yeah. So actually, the expectation using when we use the blockchain, if you get a true digital freedom, you are your own bank. You can take your own money when you want and do it without anyone else authorizations. Yeah. With the lack of any central authority, you are the sole owner and person responsible for your assets. Yeah. Yeah. So that's mean it give you the digital freedom that relies heavily on the backbone of blockchain technology. So that's the main point actually in the last sentence in here. Yeah. For example, like this one, I give you some example. Wait a minute. I have this notification in my Google Drive. Yeah, for example, yeah, this one. So this is my Google Drive, for example. I already used several years ago, and I have a lot of data in that. And I just update my data into the Google Drive as backup and so on. But I have this notification in the September 13. We have the security update that will be implemented into several file of me. So it's mean actually when I use the Google Drive, I have no freedom. Yeah, because the Google Drive is now is not became my personal folder. Yeah, actually it's Google folder. So that's why the Google will be can be as the right they will implement anything that they needed to do that one. So that's one of the issue. How about the simple issue about the digital freedom that we have right now? Yeah. So that will be one of the issue. And then this is like truly decentralized services. Yeah, decentralized services are the backbone of futuristic society. So it's mean, for example, if I have a computation power and have my own data, so I can compute and I can manage by my own, and then I can also have decision to open the services to another person or another application. So why this is very important? Because if we have this one, we can see that the futuristic society, like for example, if we relate it with the society 5.0 or maybe industry 4.0, not all the aspect it should be centralized. Yeah. One of the another aspect is we need to be decentralized. Because it's very important to make the every industries or every aspect of the business can be developed and grow by their own. Yeah, not depend on the platform. Yeah, so that would be very important. So this is like example for in the music industry. can benefit from truly decentralized service where both creator and consumer can participate without the need for any approval from a big centralized corporation. Yeah. We can see in here now in the YouTube. Yeah, I think one of the now YouTube become one of the largest music industry centralized corporation. Yeah, that control everything that we want to see, what we want to create, and so on. So that would be the happen. Yeah, because they have a power of money. So as creator, you follow the rule from the YouTube. Yeah, so that would be the issue. And then we have the blockchain is also excellent use cases. Yeah, so I think blockchain is not confined to just one particular use case. This makes blockchain excellent technology for the future for our society. Blockchain can be implemented in every sector, yeah, including trade, finance, bank, government, education, healthcare, and oil and gas, and so on. Yeah, my personal research now try to implement the blockchain for the energy for oil and gas for energy industries. Yeah, for this year I go to the coal mining industries. Yeah, to use using the blockchains. Yeah, last year using for the oil and gas industries, and let's see that will be a lot of uh, a lot of use case that we can learn from the excellent use case of the industries. Yeah. And then the better society, yeah, because I think I already said to you that the blockchains use cryptography to add a layer of security to the data that's stored in the network. Yeah, so that is also actually is different perspective on the computer security or network security or data security. When using the blockchain, the security will be decentralized. Yeah, and then we using also the high level of the cryptography. Of course, if the cryptography is not common, the cryptography utilize complex mathematical algorithm. So it's mean, yeah, of course, the data and the system will be more secure. And then, especially in the system security implement in the decentralized way. So it's mean the complex system will be happen. So of course, because of the security become complex, make the system more better, I think. And yeah, for example, each block on the blockchain on the network carries a unique hash, which means that no data can be forged or changed by malicious actor or hackers. Yeah. So that will be the next one actually. Yeah, it's because every block have a unique hash. Yeah, so that will also the algorithm that we use on the blockchain. Yeah. And this actually is inexpensive when compared to other technology, of course. Yeah, the removal of centralized authority remove the buffer required to run the network optimally. And the second is with no centralization, there is no need to pay a middleman and improving cost efficiency. Yeah, so we try to avoid the middleman. Yeah, and in the supply chain using blockchain means less paperwork. Yeah, the paperwork itself costs a lot. Yeah. There are other costs associated, including hiring people to do the paperwork and maintain the intermediaries. Yeah, so that is also why is inexpensive. Yeah, but the most one is there is no need to pay a middleman because some of the issue in the security is we need to have a middleman to ensure our security. So it's very expensive actually. And then we also have the improve efficiency. Yeah, lastly, improve efficiency is another answer to why blockchain is important. The cost of better security, intermediary removal, overall better processes. Yeah, so that's why transaction also takes second rather than a week to complete, especially international transaction. Yeah, you can imagine that one if we want to ship the good on the supply chains for worldwide, and then financial transaction from one country to another country, we doesn't need have central bank and so on. So it will be more efficient. Yeah. So yeah, this is like today we also have this. Why is it important for business? Yeah, because now blockchain maturity is big concerns. Yeah, I think until today blockchain still not in the level of maturity that can be accepted to all industries. Yeah. So yeah, we consider that blockchain might not be the answer to every industry out there. Yeah. Maybe in the finance will be blockchain is very useful, but not in the art, in the art sector, for example. But of course, we need to have we need to bring the blockchains as transformation strategies. Yeah, especially in healthcare, transportation, retail, insurance, real estate, and more. When we can research and develop in that kind of industries, I think the maturity will be also increasing. So I think that's a good point when we learn a blockchain, that the blockchain itself is the maturity is still increasing, so we can catch into the same level in the future. So this is also one of the concern blockchain as services, yeah, because don't be like a big data, for example. Big data is like a good technology, excellent technology, but unfortunately to have the services of blockchain, sorry, a big data, we need to spend a lot of effort, yeah, and resources, and expensive, yeah. So that's why we need to change the strategy when we want to implement the big data or maybe the blockchain technology become a services, yeah. Yeah. So that's why we build a blockchain as services, yeah. Using the cloud-based solution, and then the user and the industry can use in very easy way. So that's why Azure blockchains, Amazon and SAP blockchain is also, Oracle blockchain is also now release the services for this matters. Yeah. So I think yeah, but unfortunately, what we consider is the blockchain from this big company is centralized by this company. So we need to manage to also to build the decentralized system. When we see the implementations, I think, let's say we can learn from the banking and finance industries. Yeah. When we using the blockchain is the benefit came from digital assets. Yeah, we can have a programmable money and smart contract. Yeah, so I think one of the component of the blockchain, the best practice is about the smart contract. I will explain later. Yeah. There are plenty use cases that can be used in the banking and financial sector, especially trade finance blockchains. So yeah, capital markets such as insurance sales and trading, payment, remittance for domestic and international transaction, it can be supported by blockchains. Trade finance sector, including bill of lading and letter of credit, insurance, and also investment management is also one of the services that can, especially in banking and finance, that can be supported by the blockchain. And what the banking and finance have the benefit from the blockchains, yeah, especially in we have about at least 4 aspects. Yeah, the first is authenticity. Yeah, it's help finance institution to bring data integrity and ensure proper authenticity in their system. Yeah, so that make the authenticity become better. Yeah, and then the streamline processes. It improve operational efficiency, including the ability to do real-time settlement, reporting, and audit. Yeah, and then programmable capabilities. Yeah, this is the entire business logic can be coded, including data privacy, compliance, identity. Yeah, so it can be programmable in every aspect. Yeah, and also economic benefit. It is better operational costs, fewer infrastructure costs, and also transactional costs. Yeah, so that will be the benefit that they can bring from the blockchain when banking and finance use the blockchains. But I think it's not only just in use case. Yeah, many use case can be developed on it. Yeah, in the healthcare, actually, it can benefit a lot when they using the blockchains. Actually, yeah, yeah. I think we know that healthcare is suffering from lack of unity. Yeah, patient need to carry the document hospital put record in the very silos data, takes time to retrieve when needed. Yeah, so that's why the healthcare, when using the blockchain, we will have a patient consent management. Yeah, and then we have a drug traceability, security, electronic health record. Yeah, micro payment incentivizations, clinical trial data security. So I think that would be very important to help the healthcare industry suffer from the issue. I think this issue is already happened in many in several decades. Yeah, I think like a never-ending issue in the healthcare. So I think this is the opportunity to change the landscape of the healthcare using the blockchains. And then the supply chain is also have same things, but I think supply chain is now become one of industry that very very fast development and growth. Yeah, to the push of the growth of the e-commerce platform. Yeah, uh, yeah. Maybe the last issue is about the transparency of the supply chain is what, yeah, itself. Yeah, accurate asset tracking, enhanced licensing. Yeah, so that's why the blockchain can have this time. Yeah, so it can be improve transparency, traceability, and tradability. Yeah, so that's why we can implement like real-time tracing. Yeah, and then we can also have some avoid some malicious action that try to change good or data from any factors. Yeah. So that will be this is the source of today. Yeah, so I think that will be the explanation about the big picture of the blockchain that we will discuss later. Yeah, so hopefully based on this this material, it can be it can be open your mind and also under your perspective to see the blockchain. The blockchain is not only just a cryptocurrency things, but also there is a science and technology behind the blockchains, and that our focus for this courses. Yeah, so that will be the summary of this explanation. So I think that my my material for the first week. Any question from you? No? Okay.
I have a question, sir.
Yep.
You say that blockchain is immutable,
Yeah.
which means that it cannot be edited.
Mhm.
But what if there's an error in the data that's inputted?
Yes. Wait a minute. Okay. I think Rafif, yeah. The question from Rafif, I think. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much, Rafif. Yeah. About the immutability. Yeah. How about the data have some, some error, or maybe have some situation that the data cannot be, cannot be accessed, or maybe cannot be something. So, yeah. It can be happen. It's possible to happen in the blockchain, especially when the technology that deliver the block technology in the blockchain is not good enough. The algorithm is not good enough. It's happened in the several years ago when if I'm not wrong, the Ethereum, one of the cryptocurrency, introduced the first version of their technology. It's also happened with that one. So in that case, the data from the that already stored in the block is also cannot be accessed anymore. So in that time, so that's I think maybe one of the disadvantage of the blockchains. Yeah, when we already store the data and then the data is broken or maybe cannot be accessed because of the data itself is not good enough, or maybe from the technology of the block is not good. If image, for example, yeah, that the consequences of the blockchain. So in that time, that the blockchain will have some maybe next week, yeah, if we go to the discussion of the more technology side of the blockchain, you can see that to avoid that one, the blockchain will have some verification component that ensure that the data that's stored on the block and the block itself is ready. It means there is no error in that. So it's mean we have a guarantee that data that's stored in the block, it will be always can be accessible, and then but even accessible, it cannot be modified or altered. So that's the component. But yeah, please be careful when you choose the platform of the blockchain technology. Sometimes if the technology is not mature yet, it can be happen. Yeah, so that's very important to us to see that one. Hopefully it can be answer your question, Rafiq. Thank you very much. Good question. Okay, and then we also have a question in the sorry, is there any raised hand? I'm sorry, I will give you some opportunity.
Oh, yeah, I have a question, sir.
Okay, thank you. Please.
So, what are some methods to trace the data that goes through the verification process? Like, how do you trace what happens to the data when it's already in the system?
Yeah. Okay, I think same question in the chat, yeah, Patel, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. So the question is, what are some methods to trace each data that goes through verification processes? Yeah, that's a good question. In the blockchain technologies, we have some features, yeah, or maybe some function in the algorithm. Actually, inside of the algorithm, that every, for example, data that's stored into the block in the blockchain technology, they have the ID actually, and they have the ID. But the ID is not like just like ID like in the database like 1, 2, and so on. It's also unique number, unique generated number that built by the blockchain itself. And then each of the of the ID, it's used for tracing the data. So if we, for example, the data that, for example, in the data is consists of the several parameters, and then we go to the process in the verification process, and then the ID is verified. It can be stored in the blockchains. If not, sometimes like this one. Maybe I give you some example. My previous experience in the lab, we try to join like in the blockchain processes, and then we generate a new data, but a difference is not the ID is not generated by the provider, but our own data. And when we send to the platform, it is rejected by the platform because we not pass the verification process of the platform. It's not unique ID is not registered, and the block ID is not exist, and so on. So we have all that information. In that time, our data that we stored into the blockchain will be rejected, and then we cannot have we have not that our data cannot be stored in the blockchains. So that will be the method, the general method. But actually, in several platforms, they also have a lot of method, yeah, to trace and then to do the verification processes, and the algorithm is very advanced. I will explain later in maybe in the week number 4 or 5 about the verification and the trace method in blockchains. Yeah. But thank you very much, Fadel, for the question. That's
okay. Thank you, sir, for the answer.
Yes. Maybe I give you some illustration also. I also have some experience maybe about 3 years ago. We do some mining process also using the blockchains, and then after our result of the mining processes, we submit to the blockchains. Yeah, and the nice one, if our claim of the mining processes is late, it means another user already submit that job. Even we are finished, our mining processes will not accepted by the platform. So that also one of the verification process in the blockchain. So that's very unique. Yeah. So that also in the that's in the Bitcoin use case actually. Yeah. So that's very I also give you some, hopefully can give you some description about it. And
Okay,
then
sir. Thank you.
okay, thank you. And next question from Ryan. Yeah, what industry will be most impacted by the blockchain? Yeah, I think finance. Yeah, and the finance will be one of the first industry that will be transformed to the blockchains. Yeah, because of the several reason that I explained to you previously. Yeah, and then and the fact is, finance is one of the industries that more adaptive with the digital transformation, I think. Yeah, so yeah, you can say that the finance platform now become in anywhere. Yeah, I think the banking now not only just just the big building and we go to the bank, but we can also now open our new account of bank directly to from the smartphone and so on. So I think that proves that the finance is one of the industry that will be the first. Yeah, I think that will be implement the blockchains. And the obstacle is, I think, in the rules. Yeah, in the central bank rules. Yeah, for example, when in Indonesia, for example, the Central Bank of Indonesia, for example, they in same way, in the same times, they release two rules. The first is to encourage the bank to try to implement the blockchain for their transaction, but in other aspect, they also say that the cryptocurrency is not legal in Indonesia. So that's you can see different perspective in the bank, the central bank about the blockchains. Yeah, but I think it's a matter of time. I think the blockchain's push into industry will be more big, and then will be accepted. Yeah, so that will be in the next one. And the hard one is actually in the government sector, I think. Yeah, and the government sector is not very adaptive for digital transformation, I think. So that's why the impact of the blockchain will be not as fast as in the financial industry. So that will be my perspective. Yeah, but I have my analysis is one sector that very urgent to implement the blockchains, especially in Indonesia, is healthcare. I think during this pandemic, I think this is the opportunity actually to implement the blockchain for existing the good data for the patient of the COVID, for example, integration between hospital and so on. So that will be the big question. Yeah, and then also the opportunity actually. If the oil and gas, I think is not matter yet, but the oil and gas industry is like, if this is big opportunity, they will go there. So that is different view. Yeah, in the oil and gas, if it's make more efficient, they will take that in technology. So something like that. So that difference. Yeah, but hopefully it can give you some example how we can do. How about the university? I think university like government. Yeah, even we are in the university, it should be leading in innovation, research and development. But unfortunately, we are very very slow to adapt the digital transformation. Yeah, so that's also one of the challenge in university. So hopefully from this course, my idea is to develop the research center or group of research that focusing on the blockchains to bring more implementable and have excellent use case in many micro use case. Yeah, especially in academic and so on. How if your, for example, transcript supported by the blockchain? I think that will be nice one. Your app, your present in the class, for example, like this one, using the blockchain. So that will be nice one. Yeah. And we also one more question from Tian. There is an example of transparency. Yeah, the mean of the transparency in this and the blockchain is, for example, I have for example, now I have one student, PhD student, yeah, that developed the blockchain for oil palm tracing. Yeah. The goal is how we can give the information about, for example, we have a product of the oil palm, yeah, and then we need to trace which come from which area, and then which region and so on. And the properties is not only just in the region, but also in the composition, the type of the trees, and so on. So all the data, it will be stored in the blockchains, and then the oil palm, for example, the crude oil farm will be exported to Singapore, for example, and then we process in there. The data from the processes will be also stored in the blockchain, and etc. It will be shipped into from Singapore to Europe and so on. It will also will be stored into the blockchain, and in the end, the user in the European countries, they can click, yeah. For example, they can access the data. For example, this is the oil palm number 1, and then the history will be there. The data will be chronological, will be displayed to the user. Why it's important? Because for example, if Indonesia or Southeast Asia country want to export the oil palm to the European countries, they need to to display all the data. Why? Because they concerned about the this oil palm is which where come from. It is from the illegal opening the forest into the fire and so on, or this is produced by one of the company that actually illegal to do the oil palm something and so on. So they want to trace that all one. So that using the oil palm. But it's also happen into the coffee industries. Yeah, maybe you like drink a coffee, but you realize that all the beans of the coffee now traced by the blockchains to see the originality of the blockchain. If we say that this is the Aceh Gayo coffee beans, so the blockchain will be say will be came with the information about it. So that will be the transparency look like. Yeah. So maybe I also plan that our discussion, for example, after 2 weeks, the third week we will discuss more deeply into in the use case that I try to display to you how it's work, yeah, in every aspect of industries. Hopefully, it will be support you to more understand about how the blockchain is used in the industries. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Tian. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe one of you can give me some statement or something that what in your perspective about blockchains, and then why you want to learn about blockchains. Yeah, maybe one of you can open your mic and say to me some things.
Can I speak, sir?
Yes, please. Thank
Maybe
you.
because one of the reasons that I want to learn blockchain is simple, because more and more businesses are using this as a type of transactions and security for their data. And it's important for the big data industry to implement into a lot of businesses. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's good point, because you are student also catch the angle, yeah, that industry now very considered about to implement this technology. That's good point. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to say something?
I would like to say something.
Yeah. Okay, Tian, please.
Well, blockchain technology is very closely related to the cryptography, which is a very, I guess it's going to become a very prominent thing in the future, as it is already is right now. And I think it will be really cool to know how it works, so that maybe I could avoid I will know better when investing or researching about more into cryptography. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. That's good point too, Tian. Thank you very much. Yeah, my suggestion is, especially for us, for computer science perspective, we need to have a strong knowledge and also understanding about the blockchain in the science and technology aspect. Yeah, don't to I understand that the success blockchain in the cryptocurrency and so on is very big, yeah, very interesting. But the most important thing actually we need to take to have the good knowledge on the science and technology aspect of the blockchain. So if when we need to implement in many sector of industry, actually the platform, the technology behind the blockchain is same, yeah, but the use case make it unique in every industry. So that's my suggestion for you. So that's why, and the point today is now the people that work on the science and technology behind the blockchain is very limited, yeah. But now people goes through to the cryptocurrency and etc. Yeah, so that's your opportunity to fill the gap, and then you become the expert on it. And I believe if you at least understand about how the blockchain works, it become big opportunity, big asset for you to implement the technology, and then you will be one of the person that will be hunting by the industries to implement for support the industries. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, anyone? One more, maybe? Anyone want to say something?
I have a few things to say.
Okay.
So while I do agree that when you say that government side will be very hard to adapt to new like a blockchain technology, I think if they do like use blockchain, it will increase. It will be very effective at increasing transparency, that it can increase the people's trust in the government.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it will be very effective in like increasing their trust and transparency, because we can really trust blockchain since it's unchangeable. So I think it will be very have a very big impact in the government side.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. I think one of the strategy that if we want to, to push the blockchain that can be implemented in many sectors, especially in government, is to bring the best practices, yeah, or a good use case, success use case when implement the blockchain in several, in several industries, yeah. For example, currently I discuss with the pemerintah kota Yogyakarta, for example. I give some example how the blockchains in the Singapore can work for their smart city services. Yeah, so they think, oh, it's also maybe it can be used for Jogja, for example. Yeah, especially to gather the data, and the new citizen came to, for example, to Jogja and so on, and they can see they can update actually how many citizens now work and live in Yogyakarta, for example. Yeah, not only just using the the data from the Dinas Catatan Sipil and so on, but using the some application, and also we can detect all that one kind of things. Yeah, so also the good point actually, and I think it will be interesting for us for these courses. Until the rest of the courses, we will discuss a lot about not only just the first aspect, is also about the science, the technology behind it, and also we will discuss about a lot of use case that we can learn from it, and then maybe you will interest to take as your as your thesis and so on. I think that I will very open and then to discuss about it, and maybe if ready, I will I will invite my student to present the research about the healthcare using the blockchain for you. Yeah, so you will understand about how we bring into the thesis and then working on for your thesis. Yeah, so that will be the next plan for us. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for today. I think we will stop the course until this point.